It was really interesting to see last year. I mean, it was almost like the catchphrase was "There's a lot of dry powder on the sidelines." I don't know how many times I've heard that. I mean, everybody has cash. It's kind of wild to think that we went through all of that, and the cash still didn't get spent because I mean that cash got frustrated,
Hmm.
right? Because everybody started expecting, oh, there's going to be all these foreclosures. We're going to come in and snap everything up like what happened in 2009, 2010, and it didn't happen at all. Do you think that the government stimulus program for real estate investors, for business owners, helped all of that?
I think that it prevented a lot of very, very, very bad consequences.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I think that there's a really important thing to look at that people haven't spent enough time thinking about the why of, and that's the rate of refinancing that's taken place over the course of the last year. I get asked the question about cash a lot. Where are people coming up with all of this cash? All of these people, where do they get it? Like, where does it come from?
Everyone has
Right.
cash.
Everybody has cash suddenly, not just in the residential world, but the commercial world too. And nobody's looking at the why. People have gotten so smart, and kudos to all of them. People have gotten so smart in the last 10 years, they are finally recognizing that you should never use your own money.
Right.
And so the refinance rates have gone through the roof. And what is that money going towards? It's going towards the purchase of new assets and the investment in other types of real estate. Whether that's supposed to happen or not, that's what's happened. And I think that that's actually really good. So people are, I think, by and large, underleveraged, and they're utilizing the leverage that they do have to sort of change their wealth building trajectory in a really good way.
Right. It's fun. It's great that there's a lot of better education out there. It's we did a video this past week reacting to Dave Ramsey and his take on commercial real estate. He had a lot of good points on it, but materially, I disagree with him when it comes to debt. I mean, I think that debt is a tool and it's like an
Hmm.
axe, right? You know, you can chop down a tree very fast with it or you can chop your leg off. It just depends on how well you know how to use it. And I think that if you want to get out there and build wealth, you have to use other people's money. I mean, I started off on my career when I was 25. I could not have bought a building on my own without it.
Yeah.
Here we are now. It's a totally different world.
Yeah, there's a problem because I mean, Dave Ramsey is incredibly wealthy, and it's hard to argue with people that have built wealth like that. And he has had success.
Right.
And so I will never denigrate somebody who's had success like that. Good for him.
Yeah.
How you build personal wealth and how you build professional wealth, I think, are two different things. And you also can't. Somebody was saying this the other day that we should be running. I was in a meeting with a not for profit, and I'm on the board of directors of a couple of those locally. And I was having a disagreement about how we handle our endowment. And the person that I was talking with, who had the other opinion, said, "Well, I would like us to be managing our budget like we do my household." And I thought to myself, I mean, I understand that because it's a simple way to manage your household debt. Whether I agree with how you manage your household debt or not is a totally different story.
Right.
But I don't put my business to bed at 8 p.m. and I don't have to make sure that dinner's on the table at 5 p.m. at my office. And I don't have to make sure that everybody's up at 6 a.m. at my office like I do at my house. And so fundamentally, those two things are very different. And so why should we treat the money in a commercial enterprise the same way that we treat it at our house? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, money is money, so that's the one constant in there.
Right.
And we should treat it with a great deal of respect because it will turn around and bite you if you're not careful with it. But our ability to leverage ourselves is really important. How you leverage yourself is just as important as how much you leverage yourself. And I think that's a longer conversation later on down the road about strategies for leverage that are really important, talking about sort of the guarantee structure on your loans, how much of your personal assets are at risk when you make those sorts of commitments. I think that's a really important variable to take into account. But people, by and large, should not manage commercial enterprises financially the same way that they manage their household. I think it's a bad idea.